are looking live at Launch Complex 39A at Kennedy Space Center. In less than half an hour, this Falcon 9 rocket will lift off carrying the 27th Commercial Resupply Services mission from both NASA and SpaceX to the International Space Station. Good evening and welcome to live coverage of the CRS-27 launch. I'm NASA's Jasmine Hopkins. Fueling of the Falcon 9 began about 10 minutes ago, and we're counting down to an instantaneous launch at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This mission will deliver more than 6,000 pounds of science, supplies, and equipment to the space station. And these resupply missions help NASA and our partners continue research that could better our life right here on Earth and help us as we explore deep space. Let's go now to SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California, where Zachary Lupin is standing by to tell us more about the vehicle supporting today's mission. Zach?
Thanks, Jasmine. Hi, everyone. My name is Zachary Lupin, and I'm an avionics reliability engineer here at SpaceX. It's great to be covering today's mission in partnership with NASA. And in just about 10 seconds, we should see those clamp arms opening on the transporter erector. The transporter erector, or TE, is that large truss structure adjacent to our Falcon 9 vehicle. The TE is used for vehicle rollout and to route propellants and electrical power to the vehicle in preparation for launch. Once the clamp arms have fully opened, the TE will then retract away from the rocket in preparation for liftoff. In these last few minutes before T0, Falcon 9 is performing final health checks on its primary communications, avionics, and propulsion systems. And there's that call out for strong back retract. We may also hear call outs that engines are sufficiently chilled if we get a little closer to liftoff. And if you've seen in a couple of our shots here, you may have noticed the Falcon 9 booster supporting today's mission is covered with quite a bit of soot. And that's because it's no stranger to space travel, having previously supported the Amazonas Nexus mission, SES-22, iSpace's Hakuto R Mission 1, and 3 Starlink missions. And as I mentioned earlier, today's mission marks the 7th flight for this booster.
Stage 1 lock load is complete. 15 seconds. T-minus 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power and liftoff of CRS-27. Go Falcon, go Dragon.
Falcon 9 soars off the launch pad. Dragon now on its way to the International Space Station with important new science experiments and crew supplies.
Stage 1 chamber pressure is nominal.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from historic Launch Complex 39A in Florida. We're now coming up on our max Q in about 20 seconds or so, which is the point of maximum aerodynamic pressure the vehicle will go through during its flight.
Max Q.
And there's that call out for max Q. Coming up next are 5 events back to back. First is main engine cutoff, or MECO, which is when all 9 of the Merlin 1D engines on the first stage will shut down. After those 9 engines shut down, the first and second stages will separate, also called out over the nets as stage separation. Then the first stage will flip around to make its way back to its landing site, the drone ship named a Shortfall of Gravitas. The second stage will then ignite its Merlin vacuum engine to boost Dragon to low Earth orbit during SES-1. And the last event is the boost back burn to reduce velocity of the first stage in preparation for atmospheric entry. And this whole sequence will take place over about 30 seconds or so. Now we should be hearing that call out for main engine cutoff in about 20 seconds from now.
MECO. Stage separation confirmed. In back ignition.
Stage 1 boost back startup.
And there's all of those callouts for those milestones. So we had MECO, stage separation, a stage 1 flip, second engine start 1, and the start of the partial boost back burn. While a boost back burn is normally performed in order to return the first stage to one of our landing zones, here we are just performing a partial boost back. This shortened burn, possible due to payload weight, will allow us to recover the Falcon 9 booster much closer to the coast and shorten the drone ship's journey back to shore by about 1.5 to 2 days.
Stage 1 boost back shutdown.
And there's confirmation of boost back shutdown. You can currently see stage 2, and there's confirmation of first stage entry burn startup, and probably saw it as well. Again, this is the first of 2 burns that the booster performs before landing on the drone ship.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown. Stage 1 landing burn.
There's the start of that first stage landing burn on the left side of your screen.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy.
And there you saw the Falcon 9 first stage successfully
Stage
land,
1
and you can probably
confirmed.
hear the cheering behind me. The Falcon 9 first stage that supported today's mission landed for the 7th time, having previously supported Amazonas Nexus, SES-22, iSpace's Hakuto R Mission 1, and 3 Starlink missions. Today's landing also marks the 178th successful landing for an orbital-class rocket. And if you're just joining us, you're watching a live view of Dragon successfully disconnecting from the second stage, heading to the International Space Station. This is the 27th commercial resupply mission to the International Space Station for NASA. This is SpaceX's 17th mission this year and second Dragon flight to station for 2023. We lifted off about 12 minutes and 23 seconds ago from Kennedy Space Center at Historic Launch Complex 39A. And there you can see Dragon slowly drifting away from the second stage. The next milestone coming up is the nose cone opening sequence, which protects the docking ring and navigation sensors.
And another beautiful launch from the Space Coast this evening. That's going to wrap up our coverage for the launch of the 27th Commercial Resupply Services mission from NASA and SpaceX. Dragon is now on its way to dock to the International Space Station Thursday at 7:52 a.m. Eastern Time. And we'll have live coverage of that at 6:15 a.m. on NASA TV and on nasa.gov/live. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll leave you with a replay of today's launch. But until next time, go NASA, go SpaceX, and go CRS-27.